guys, welcome back to Lammon Customs. Today we're going to talk about a no-name brand planishing hammer. So I initially did an entire video of unboxing this thing, the full assembly, talking about how I put everything together, all the little tips and tricks that I found out, and went to upload that video, and when I started editing it, none of the files worked. So unfortunately I lost all that, and I did not feel like disassembling it just to reassemble it again. So we're going to start with it all assembled. Now, I've been wanting a planishing hammer for a while to go along with my English wheel. Finally decided to get one. Harbor Freight used to carry one. I think it was made by Central Pneumatic. They no longer carry one. So I checked with Northern Tool and Equipment. They carry the Clutch brand tools, spelled with a K. I went to buy one. They still have the display in the stores. Went to order one. It's been discontinued. I guess they did that a couple months ago, so I couldn't get that. So my wife actually decided to go to a website she never orders from, Amazon, and found this no-name brand one. So they do make obviously the name brand ones out there and stuff, Bali and tons of others. I didn't feel like taking out a second mortgage to be able to afford one, and just wanted an entry-level one to kind of see, how well it works and stuff. So this is what we came up with. Now, when this showed up, and I'll do this in the unboxing video, unfortunately, this thing was just thrown in a box. Parts are all scattered. There's a Ziploc bag that had all the hardware, the screws and the nuts and everything. That was just dumped in there. I was actually worried we were missing parts. Thankfully, everything was still in the box. The box itself wasn't damaged, but it was basically upside down, just tossed around, and it did not look good. And I did take a picture of it, so I'll throw that up right now so you can take a look. So I wasn't too impressed with that kind of right out of the box. I was hoping nothing got damaged or anything was missing, but thankfully everything, from what I can tell, is there. So the instructions that came with this thing were poor at best. Looked like a copy of a copy of a copy. And they're also small. Like the diagram of this thing, it showed all the numbers for all the parts, and all the parts were, I kid you not, was about this big. It was so small and so blurry you couldn't read it. So thankfully I'm a Gen Xer and played with the original Legos growing up, so that's kind of how this was. Just had to kind of, take a look at the picture, on Amazon and see what it looked like and just try to figure stuff out where stuff went. So we did get it assembled. A couple tips and tricks that I ran into and stuff. I'll go over real briefly. Your lower portion here that fits in here was very, very tight on mine. I don't know if it's a machining process or what, if it's really supposed to be that tight. It didn't want to really go that well, so when I was assembling all this stuff, I lubed up really, really well with WD-40. It's also a rust preventator, but that way it actually moves a little bit better. The adjustment, this thing came with 3 anvils. Got one in there already, and it came with these. It gets more domed as they go. There is no holder. That's one thing I did notice. So I'm either going to fabricate one or something come up, because I would like to keep these on the unit. This moves to lock in your piece, but as you notice, there's not a lot of room. I don't care for this. I was hoping there would be a gap here, and then you put your work on your piece of metal in here, and then you could tighten it up. This obviously will not go any lower, just the way it's designed with these cross pins and stuff. And the air hammer itself, I adjust up as far as it'll go. It's actually, right now, the retaining spring is actually hitting on the frame, so it cannot come up any higher. And while we're talking about the hammer part of it, not super impressed, honestly. The high quality ones and stuff don't have this trigger. Basically, it's just a air chisel or air hammer that you can buy at any hardware store. All they did was zip tie the trigger closed, so it's on all the time. So control is actually done via this foot control pedal. Yeah, so that's kind of where we are on that. capacitors are talking about, all the controls and stuff. It came with these air hoses. I believe it's 3/8 inch line. The chucks, however, and you can see that in the video, these are some odd chucks. I've gone all over town trying to find some, mainly like the coupler here, and I cannot find at any parts store, auto parts store, hardware store, big box store. Nobody carries them. It's some odd size, obviously. It's tough to find. You can order them obviously online. I really don't want to do that, so I may end up actually changing out, you know, at least the one that goes here, because I wanted to do an actual review and test this out for you guys, but that's what we got. So I may try to find like a compression fitting and try to change this, or get like a shark bite and an adapter and cut this off and come up with something else to go to a standard air chuck for a compressor. So we do that. We'll probably do another follow-up video on this. Overall, not bad, I guess, you know, for a couple $100. A lot of the ones I've seen, this one doesn't have it. They have either like a bolt hole or like a cap or something. A lot of them have a provision so you can actually fill up the frame with sand or steel shot or something to give it some weight and also kind of keep it from scooting around when you're using it, and kind of help dampen the noise and the vibration, because with it being hollow, I have a hunch this thing is going to make a lot of noise. So be sure to wear your ear protection. I've already noticed I've been kneeling in this entire video, and there's a reason for that. Let me stand up here. You can kind of see height-wise where we are. This is probably the biggest disappointment. Is I thought this thing was going to be a lot taller. You know, our working area right here, if you can see that, is about 3 feet, roughly. Overall, it's not even 4 feet tall. It's about 45 to the top of the air hammer. That's awful short. You know, to me, that's not a comfortable area to work. Obviously, like this would be pretty good to work here, work your piece of metal. I suppose I could sit on a stool or something, you know, and do that. To me, that's not very practical though, moving around. So my option is, I went to Harbor Freight and picked up these casters. They're a 4-inch caster, which actually overall with the metal and everything gives you about a 5-inch lift. I picked up 3 of them. They are locking, so all 3 lock. This does have holes in the feet, pre-drilled, so I gotta get these mounted on there, and this will bump this thing up another 5 inches. I do like the fact too with like the wheels, with the casters and stuff, this will allow me to kind of move it around the shop. I can pull it out when I want to. I don't have to actually lift it. I can just reel it out, and then with the locking ones I can lock it into place, and hopefully it ain't gonna scoot around on the floor. So that's it in a nutshell. I guess, you know, for entry level, you know, a couple $100, can't really beat that. Some features I don't like about this. You know, again, may have to add something here so I can add some sand to this if need be to help with the weight. We'll try the caster, see if that's high enough. If not, the base plate and the upper tool and stuff, they just bolt together. So if need be, I may just do some sort of spacer, fabricate something to raise this up. But try the wheels first, see how it does. We'll get a better air chuck on this thing. We'll test it out. We'll do a follow-up video on that, and plan on putting this thing to good use overall. So let us know what you think in the comments. Do you own one of these planishing hammers? If so, what's your experience with it? Do you own a name brand one, or do you own a no-name brand one that came from overseas? Be sure to hit like and subscribe. That really does help the channel. We'll see you next time at Lammon Customs.